Hello cadets. I'm glad you've joined the ranks of our flight school. Today we will be examining the Anvil Aerospace Hornet, in the latest installment of Original Systems Arena Commander, version .08 Draft 12.3. We will be talking about armament, loadout, energy management and engage tactics, as well as how to master aim and minimize ammo loss while maximizing the effect of your fired shots. First off, I'd like to point out that using HOTAS system and voice activation software will greatly improve both your experience and proficiency. That said, this how-to is meant to be controller agnostic. You can find useful links right below this video. Chapter 1, Armament. In the current version of Arena Commander, there are two weapons that clearly shine over the rest. The Omni Sky 6, Laser Canyon, and the Tactical Mantis GT220 Gatling gun. Both have their pros and cons. The laser cannon does pack a considerable punch, but drain a lot of power, plus, the firing rate is quite slow. The Gatling gun penetrates shields directly, does not use lots of power, but it has limited ammo. Advice on armament. Leave the laser cannons, and use only two Mantis GT220 as your primary weapons. The Hornet is meant to be a sturdy craft, capable of taking many blows before it kneels, while providing a serious firepower to the battlefield. The problem is that the current power plant, available in version .08 Draft 12.3, is not capable of providing enough juice for both weapons and shields at the same time. That is why choosing weapons that do not drain energy is a wise choice. Chapter 2, Loadout. By default, the Hornet has its Gatling guns mounted on the wings, while the lasers are mounted on the turret. The weapons on the turret have a wider arc of fire, and narrower convergence point, making their volleys more precise, especially at very close range. However, the turret mount drains energy on its own. That is why we recommend leaving the default placement for the guns, and replacing the turret with a store-all cargo box that you can find on a civilian Hornet, if you have one, or just remove the turret altogether. Ultimately, we need to strike a balance between shields and firepower, so we can stay in the battle longer, yet not sacrificing our offensive abilities. Also, you are less likely to lose both guns simultaneously, due to collision or enemy fire. Chapter 3, Energy Management. I cannot stress enough how important it is to manage your shields in combat. Learning this will advance you from zero to hero in no time. By default, right control key +8 raises the level of your front shields, and right control key +2 raises your aft shields, while right control +5 resets levels to default. Generally, managing side shields in a single-seater, like the Hornet, is not so practical. Instead, you should practice bouncing between full forward and full aft shields, depending on your positioning and following action. If you are using voice attack, or other voice activation software, now is the time to create those three actions. Full shields forward, full shields, aft, and reset shields. If you are using the keyboard, maybe it is a good thing to rebind those actions to a more convenient keys, as you are supposed to use them quite often. We can leave the energy distribution between the different subsystems for now. The Arena Commander is still feature incomplete. A future video will cover these, when time comes. Chapter 4, Engage Tactics. When practicing in the Vanduul Swarm, you should know two things. Waves bring progressively harder enemies. But the difficulty is measured not only by the quality, but by the quantity as well. Once you pass wave 5 or 6, each new wave will consist of minimum 5 enemies. If you haven't read the redacted manual, I will tell you that the Vanduul Scavenger is the least skilled enemy pilot, while the Alphas and the Primes are the most skilled. Each third wave also has an elite pilot, usually a fancy named one. They are the ones that use missiles. In each encounter, your goal is to reduce enemy numbers, as quickly as possible, while maintaining your hull integrity. First off, raise your forward shields, and face the incoming enemies. You should target the biggest threat, always. Use a missile to dispatch one, as you close towards the pack. If you are lucky, enemies may divide themselves between you and your two wingmen. That gives you the opportunity to easily kill two more, with missiles. Once there is more or less a manageable number of enemies left, you can proceed with the dogfight action. Remember, it is not advisable to use missiles on scavengers and hunters. Consider saving all the missiles for the elites, the alphas and the primes. Advanced tactics. Passing straight through the enemy group, entering decouple mode at full speed, doing a 180-degree pitch, and killing another Vandal, while maintaining your front shields up. It may sound complicated, but if you practice this a few times you will see it's not that hard at all. Watch.
There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Bogey. Scanning. Target destroyed.
If you find it hard to use decoupled mode, it may surprise you, but you can accomplish the same move by simply rotating as fast as possible, while cutting your engine's power off. That is with comstub off. Drifting backwards. Maintaining front shields up, while pursuing an enemy Vandal is a good strategy. Why? Because, every once in a while, the Vandal will perform a La Battlestar Galactica move and try to shoot you as he tries to run away. Match enemy speed often. If you have a throttle stick, use it. Be calm when you pull the trigger. Wait for the moment. Spin the Gatling guns in advance. Pull the trigger half a second before your intended firing. Use the afterburner to get you out of incoming collision with an asteroid by quickly rotating, so your engines point at the asteroid and then engage the afterburner. You will be surprised with the results. This concludes the first day of your training, young pilots. Practice often, do not be afraid to ask a fellow wingman for an advice. The verse is full of terrors. We need you to be at the front line and defend humanity at all costs. Captain Dark Rage, out.